Hazrat Mevlana and the Fallen Woman. Hazrat Mevlana had just departed from the madrasa where he taught. The day was sinking toward evening. With calm, unhurried steps, he set out for his home. As was their custom, his students and a small gathering of Konya's notable figures refused to leave him alone and followed closely behind. That day, however, their pace was slower than ever. Since the dawn call to prayer, a spring rain had fallen almost without pause, and though it had only just ceased, it had already transformed the road into a field of mud. No one complained of soaked garments or mud-stained feet, for all were nourished by the spiritual grace they drew merely from walking in Hazrat Mevlana's presence. They assumed that once the bazaar of Konya was behind them, a cleaner and more passable road would appear. Yet, Hazrat Mevlana, instead of choosing his familiar path home, turned deliberately onto another road. Just as his students hoped to be freed from the mire, they found themselves upon a path even worse. One of them, thinking his master had erred, ventured a warning, but Hazrat Mevlana offered no reply and continued onward. A few fell back and drifted away, yet the majority remained steadfast at his side. Soon they approached a street where caravanserais stood shoulder to shoulder with taverns, night houses, and places of worldly pleasure. In an instant, they were surrounded by beggars and harlots, madmen and drunkards, vagabonds and addicts. Slipping through the crowd with quiet resolve, Hazrat Mevlana noticed someone on the pavement to his left. She was a fallen woman, drenched by the rain, barefoot, her clothes torn and pitiful. It was plain that she wished to cross the street, yet she stood helpless. At the center of the road lay a vast pool of mud, treacherous as a snare. Sharp pebbles like blades, shards of broken glass, and half-buried horseshoes studded with rusted nails lurked beneath its surface. Should the woman somehow cross this peril and reach the inn on the opposite side, she might earn enough to quiet her hunger. Clinging to this fragile hope, she stood motionless, unable to take a single step. Hazrat Mevlana had already perceived her plight and approached her. Beneath the curious and scandalized gazes that followed them, he removed the cloak from his shoulders and laid it across the muddy water like a bridge. Then he extended his arm and offered to guide her across the obstacle-laden path. The woman knew well the dangers concealed beneath the water, yet she surrendered herself to the gentleness of his voice and the hand offered in compassion. At once, a ripple of unease passed through the crowd. Whispered accusations rose into open reproach.
He walks arm in arm with a common street woman.
As they watched their teacher speak with the fallen woman, the murmuring swelled into open outrage.
See what has become of this great scholar.
Among the students, those who sought meaning in the moment or who murmured, "Surely he knows what we do not," were few indeed. Even they stood silent, stunned, as others hurled words at Hazrat Mevlana that bordered on insult. When at last Mevlana reached the opposite pavement, he bade the woman farewell, and then, in a gesture that shattered all restraint, kissed her hand. This was more than the crowd could bear. From among the mud-caked onlookers rose a man infamous in Konya for his sharp tongue and pretended piety. One who paraded himself as a friend of God while living a life steeped in deceit and drink. He cried out,
"Shame upon you! You side by side with a filthy harlot! How could we ever imagine this of you? Surely the bones of your father, Bahauddin Muhammad Veled, the Sultan of Scholars, is aching in his grave.
Hazrat Mevlana fixed his gaze upon the man and stepped toward him with unwavering calm. The same hand he had offered the woman now rested upon the man's shoulder.
That woman you despise,
He said,
is an angel. For this reason, she is destined for paradise from the very beginning. We, however, are the ones still being tested in this world.
The man recoiled, repulsed by the very thought, and tried to shrug off the weight of the hand upon his shoulder. Yet, beneath Mevlana's gaze, he faltered, as though struck by sudden illness. Still, he forced out his words.
How could that harlot be superior to me? I have lived a life stripped of worldly pleasures, devoted to faith, and so I shall die. While that woman who soils the hands you place upon me lies each night in the arms of another.
Sensing the man's rage, Hazrat Mevlana pressed his hand more firmly upon his shoulder and continued, cutting him short.
Yes, the woman you call a harlot has fallen upon a dark path. But it was not one she chose. From childhood she endured horrors so grave that had another lived them, they might have ended their life long ago. You should pray for her. If you sleep in peace each night, it is because of her. Those who serve Satan under cover of darkness busy themselves with women like her. Were she and others like her not to exist, those lawless men would prey upon our sisters, our mothers, and our children. Thus, she is the guardian angel of all whom we love. I hold nothing but reverence for her.
Having spoken, Hazrat Mevlana brushed the man's shoulder as though removing dust, turned away from him and the crowd, and returned quietly to his home. In the days that followed, Mevlana's students sought out the woman at the inn. They fed her, took her to the bathhouse, clothed her anew, and gave her a safe room where she might live in peace, caring for her for a time. As time passed, the woman repented. She entered into a joyful marriage and became one of Hazrat Mevlana's students. Drawing a veil over her former life, she learned to give thanks for every breath she was granted.